Let's just imagine for a second the absolute worst case scenario for any military pilot. You're shot down, you're deep inside enemy territory, and that territory is Iran. Well, this is the story of exactly that. A crazy 36-hour drama, a frantic race against the clock, and what has to be one of the most audacious rescue operations in modern history. So here's the setup. An American F-15E Strike Eagle goes down. They manage to rescue the pilot, but the weapons officer, a colonel, is still out there, missing. He's wounded, he's alone, and he's being hunted in the brutal mountains of southern Iran. The odds are just impossibly stacked against him. And that clock, it is ticking, loudly. But this incredible story, it actually ends with this triumphant declaration. Now, before we get into the how, you have to understand the sheer guts it took to even get to this moment. This was a mission so dangerous, so risky, that officials have said it's the kind that is rarely, if ever, even attempted. Okay, let's break down this unbelievable 36-hour drama. We're going deep inside Iran, where it wasn't just about getting one man out. No, the reputation of the entire U.S. military was riding on this one. Look at how incredibly tight this window was. The jet goes down on a Friday, and immediately this frantic race against time kicks off. U.S. Special Forces literally had to plan and pull off this super complex rescue mission before Iranian forces could find their guy. We're talking hours, not days. And you have to understand the danger this airman was in. Ejecting from a jet is incredibly violent. You're almost guaranteed to be seriously hurt. So there he is, wounded, hiding in this rugged mountain range with just a pistol, while armed locals and Iranian military units are hunting for him. And, oh yeah, there's a reward out for his capture. Now, every U.S. airman goes through this elite SIR training for this exact nightmare scenario. But here's the thing, no amount of training can change the facts on the ground. Sure, he could survive for a bit, but his ultimate fate? It depended completely on whether his rescuers could get to him before the enemy did. Okay, this is where the psychological tension of this mission just goes through the roof. Before anyone could even think about launching a rescue, the entire command team was basically paralyzed by a single cryptic message that caused hours of confusion and delay. Using his secure comms device, the downed colonel sends out a simple 3-word message. God is good. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But in the fog of war, nothing is ever that simple. And this was the terrifying question that U.S. commanders had to wrestle with. Was this actually the colonel, a man of deep faith, just expressing his thoughts? Or had he been captured? Was he being forced to send this message to lure a rescue team straight into a deadly ambush? What do you do? This just created an absolute pressure cooker. Because while the U.S. command team is agonizing over this message for critical hours, all these other threats are physically closing in on the colonel's location. Time was running out, and running out fast. So, with the clock ticking and the enemy closing in, the CIA kicks off this brilliant and incredibly risky deception operation. The goal was simple: buy the rescue team a window of opportunity, no matter what. I mean, this was straight out of a spy thriller. First, they used their intel to pinpoint his real location. Then, they started broadcasting fake radio signals and decoy distress beacons to send the Iranian search parties on a total wild goose chase. They created this ghost operation, making the Iranians think the extraction was happening from a port miles and miles away from the real target. With the deception in full swing, the mission goes kinetic. The U.S. unleashes its absolute most elite Special Forces unit to go in and get their man, the legendary SEAL Team 6. To really get how audacious this was, you have to picture it. Over 100 commandos fly deep into Iran, landing on a makeshift dirt airstrip, a landing strip that was just 30 miles. 30 miles from Isfahan, one of Iran's most critical and heavily defended nuclear sites. The level of risk here is just off the charts. And this wasn't some small snatch-and-grab team. This was a full-scale miniature invasion force. You had SEAL Team 6 on the ground, massive MC-130Js for transport, and this whole protective umbrella of MQ-9 Reaper drones and fast jets providing air cover and fire support. They brought the whole toolbox. And that air cover, yeah, it was absolutely critical. As Iranian forces in pickup trucks and other vehicles tried to drive up the mountain towards the airstrip, U.S. drones and jets just started lighting them up, dropping bombs and firing missiles to create this wall of fire, protecting the team on the ground.
Now, while all of this is going on, the wounded colonel isn't just sitting there hiding. He's actually on the move, climbing this treacherous ridgeline, 7,000 feet above sea level, to get himself to a pre-planned extraction point.
And this is it. This is the climax of the entire rescue. After the crash, the hiding, the agonizing climb, it all comes down to this one single moment. The colonel has to break cover, completely expose himself, and make a final, desperate run to meet the rescue team as they arrive.
He's safe. The airman is with the team. Mission accomplished, right? Well, not quite. In the final phase of getting everyone out, a brand new crisis pops up, forcing a very, very costly decision. You see that makeshift dirt runway they used to get in? It just became a trap. The nose gear of two of their massive MC-130J aircraft, we're talking $100 million apiece, got completely bogged down in the soft dirt. They were stuck. They were not going anywhere.
And right here, this is the mission's incredible contrast. The main goal? A perfect success. Every single American came home safe. But to do that, they had to leave behind and destroy over $300 million worth of some of their most advanced military equipment. I mean, the final bill was just staggering. 2 C-130s, 4 Little Bird special ops helicopters, plus 2 Reaper drones that got shot down. It's an unbelievable loss of equipment. All of it sacrificed to uphold that one core principle: leave no one behind. Of course, Iran did its best to spin this into a propaganda victory. Pointing to all the charred wreckage of American aircraft, the Speaker of their parliament basically mocked them, saying that a few more victories like this would completely ruin the United States. And that really leaves us with the central question of this whole operation. They rescued the airmen against impossible odds with 0 casualties. By that measure, it was a flawless, perfect mission. But when you look at the immense financial cost and all that high-tech gear left burning deep inside enemy territory, you just have to ask, was it a perfect mission? Or was it a very, very expensive miracle?